Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be going through, I've just zoomed it in so it's really close to my face. We're going to be taking a look at my bookshelves. Now I know a lot of people have many more books than me and bigger bookshelves, but you know, I'm getting there, Also, there's no more space for bookshelves in this house. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start at the top. I'm just going to zoom out slightly so you can see this top shelf because we're going to be heading to this one first. Now this was a very small shelf. So this one here, this is going to be my sci-fi shelf. At the minute, I only have like the Bobiverse, the first book in the Bobiverse up here. And I have read this book. I've got all of Red Rising and I do have more sci-fi books on my to-be cart, which is what I keep pointing out, which is next to me. But this is the first one. I'm going through and collecting these as they get republished with the sprayed edge. So I think the second one has just come out now, but the Bobiverse is great. If you've not read We Are Legion, We Are Bob, I strongly recommend it. The next books I have up here are literally just aesthetics. They are absolutely gorgeous books. These are the Waterstones exclusives of Metal Slinger and of Shield of Sparrows. I haven't read those, so they're on my TBR, but they're up here because they looked very pretty. They also used to be Hemlock and Silver and the Hollow Places here because they also have floral, but they'll get filtered into the stacks as and when. Okay, so this next shelf is, we're going to go across this way. This next shelf is my fantasy books. So we've got all of Game of Thrones that's published to this point. Is there the other one being published yet? I can never remember. I always felt like it got pushed back and pushed back. But anyway, I've read all of them. And then we've got the Broken Binding edition of the first three in the Raymond D. Feist series. So we've got Magician, Silverthorn, and The Darkness at Sethanon, which are absolutely stunning editions. I got them in an unboxing, if you remember. I actually ended up having to buy them off eBay because they'd been and gone. And I had read these a long time ago, and Raymond D. Feist, Raymond D. Feist doesn't really get spoken about a lot when it comes to fantasy, and it's always really sad for me because I absolutely love Raymond D. Feist. I even made my mum read them and she loves them too. He does battles really well, like the war stuff is really amazing. I think Rift War Saga is my favourite, so you know, or the Serpent War Saga. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, then next we've got the Witcher series. We've got the first three in the Wheel of Time, and you can't quite see, but up here, above, on top of Wheel of Time, we have our Geralt Funko Chase. And then on this one, this is, you'll notice I do them in genres. If you expect to see these in like alphabetical order in any way, you're going to be very mad. That's not how I do my bookshelves. My bookshelves are in genres and then aesthetic, how I like them to look. So I will be frequently changing them up as I add more of the books from the cart into the stacks. So up here, it's my thriller / horror / murder mystery shelf. So we've got The Murder at the World's End, a book I absolutely love. It's another Waterstones exclusive. I thought it was a really fun murder mystery. We've got Holly Jackson's Not Quite Dead Yet. Another nice sprayed edge. Again, loved this book. Thought it was so fun and a little bit different. We, of course, have got Bunny. Bunny is the next one. I have got We Love You Bunny on my wish list, but I've not heard great things. And this is so weird and bizarre. It was a ride and a half. Then we move into my Tea Kingfishers. So we have Hemlock and Silver, which I've just read. As you can see why this was up with the botanicals over there. We've got the Hollow Places again, absolutely gorgeous. I did, this was part of one of my reading vlogs that I did this one. And then I've just recently read Nine Goblins, which is part of like my February TBR. So we're not talking about that right now. This Vicious Hunger, which I did not enjoy. We've got, next we've got Six Wild Crowns. Again, didn't enjoy. Yeah, no. Then we have all of the Tea and Tomes and Tea series. So it's the Alchemy, Can't Spell Treason Without Tea in that series. I love this series. If you want like a cozy fantasy, this is it. This was another series of books though when I bought like the third one, I think. Yeah, I bought the third one because it's the Waterstones exclusive in the series, not realising it was the third one, despite there being a 3 on the spine. So I had to get the rest. I haven't actually read the last one yet though. which is the Alchemy and a Cup of Tea. I've kind of been putting it off because I'm like, I'm not ready for it to end, but this is on my TBR. We've then got the Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. Wasn't for me. Again, people love or hate this book. I feel like V.E. Schwab can be quite polarising. Some books people love, some people absolutely hate. I was just really disappointed. So incredibly disappointed by it. I went in blind though. I didn't read anything apart from the blurb, and the blurb doesn't really give a lot away other than that it tracks through women's stories. So I got about like 50 to 100 pages in and I'm like, oh, this is about lesbian vampires. I didn't see it coming. Then we've got my Illumicrate. So we've got Bridemate, and then we've got the most recent one that came in the Afterlight box, which I've actually stopped because I'm not a big contemporary romance fan. But I wanted to see what was in the box, and I got this one, and I think this like made me go, yeah, I don't think this is for me. And this is the fundamentals of being a good girl, and I'm like, I'm just going to try and go on the wait list for the sci-fi one instead, and the horror. I feel like that's more with me. All right, moving along. This is carrying on with the fantasy. These two shelves are fantasy. They are going to get rearranged though because I've got more coming. Oh, I've also got my Murderbot diaries to go onto my shelf, my sci-fi one. The Broken Binding special editions that came out, they're coming soon. But I've got Hierarchy, the Hierarchy deluxe set coming as well. I think tomorrow's getting delivered, which is going to be Thursday, and this is coming out on Sunday. So I should already have it in my grubby mitts. But it'll probably be in the haul, which will be the video after this week. It'll be next week's video. So this one again is like your more fantasy. So we've got Dungeon Crawler Carls up until the Butcher's Masquerade. I need to get the rest, but I've been trying to pace them so that when we get the next one released, which is supposed to be coming in May, I've not got too much time to wait and I've not got time to forget things. Then we've got the Illumicrate version of the Farseer trilogy. So we've got Assassin's Apprentice, by Robin Hobb, Royal Assassin, and Assassin's Quest. Love this series. Robin Hobb series is so much fun. We've then got the Waterstones exclusive of The Raven Scholar, which has got very pretty inside. I haven't read this yet. I'm scared to read it. I think I talked about that. I talked about in a video that you've probably not seen yet, which is picking my highest and lowest rated books. This is like the second highest, and I'm really nervous about reading it. I don't know why it's on this shelf for the time being because I think it's supposed to be like romantasy leaning, but I just haven't started to read it yet, so I don't know where to classify it. We've then got the Waterstones exclusive of The Devils. This is the beautiful like signed edition with it's the red one rather than the white one. I had to pre-order. And then we've got two Terry Pratchett's. We've got Thud and we've got Reaper Man, which I think are first editions. I need to ask my husband, he bought me these, but I love Terry Pratchett's. I want the classic ones. Yeah, if you go onto the Terry Pratchett, if you go onto the Discworld website, they've got collections, and I love the Night Watch, so I kind of want the Night Watch collection. I think that's something I'm going to get next. Okay, and then the last shelf along here is kind of dark romance. It's more mafia. So we've got the Amazon version of Merciless Saints, which is one of these. I hate the Amazon printed books. I'm sorry. I just think they're horrible. Then we've also got, these are Michelle Hurd. Michelle Hurd, if you don't know, I've spoken about many times. She is my favourite mafia romance author. So we've got The Hermit and we've got High Priestess. I need the other three. These are the hardbacks. I do actually quite like the way that these look. I said they're like tarot cards, and I like that. Then we've got the Fabled version of Merciless Saints. This was one that I ordered and I actually received after Fabled had gone out of business, but Fabled was so weird. I ordered it and then I wasn't sure if I ever actually ordered it because I never got confirmation. It just showed up one day. But this is absolutely stunningly gorgeous inside. But yeah, Michelle Hurd, one of my favourite authors, and I think this is a beautiful copy. Then we have the Alliance series, so by S.J. Tilley. So we've got the hardback versions because I thought the hardback versions looked really, really cool. So we've got Nero, We've got King. I just love all those covers. We've got Dom with the diamond, if you know, you know. And we've got Hands. Love them. I love these books. I have reread them. I've read the Alliance series and reread them a couple of times, and they're just so fun. They are just so fun. And Dom, I need to do a book, I need to do like a video on books that just made me cry, because Dom is one that made me really, really sad for the female main character. I was just devastated for her. When stuff comes out, and again, if you know, you know, I was just devastated for her. I was so incredibly sad. So, shall we move down? So this next shelf is my Smut and Sip shelf. And we've got some interlopers in the form of Phantasma and Enchantra. I do want to replace these with like the special editions that came out. Oh God, look, I even annotated Phantasma. I got stickies in this one. But this is my Smut and Sip shelf. So if you don't know anything about Smut and Sip, it is a subscription box. You can choose to go book only, or you can choose to go cocktails or mocktails. And I've got mocktails because I'm not a drinker. But they send you these mocktails with recipes that accompany the theme of the book. If you get the extras, you also tend to get like bookmarks or pins and things like that. I got a tote bag in the last one. So I don't really know what to do with the potions right now, because I know I'm supposed to drink them, but they look so cool I don't want to. But this is so I'm on 7-month subscriptions right now. We are missing December's. I think I mentioned this in a previous video. We're missing December's at the minute because there was a problem with the printing. So I should have 8 books here, but I don't. I've got 7. They are going contemporary, I think, next time, which is going to be interesting, because these have been like a little bit more dark romance, or I mean, Blood Oath is reverse harem. So, it's going to be interesting. But the only one I haven't read is the most recent one, which is Nightshade, which is absolutely gorgeous, as usual. End papers are gorgeous. The back one's usually a bit racier, but this one's not too bad. But yeah, like Smut and Sip, I think they just do absolutely gorgeous naked printed hardbacks. They're stunning. Love them. I mean, Soul Eater's gorgeous. Look at it. And I already read this book. And my husband was like, maybe you should cancel or pause your subscription for that one. And I was like, no, I love that book. So then this next one, and the one underneath it, you're looking at your romanticises, really. So at the moment, Song of Achilles has got nowhere to go. I read this over the weekend, and I mean, I know the myth. And oh my God, I was so sad at the end. I was welling up. So I don't know where to put it right now. I think when I rearrange my shelves, which then we'll need another video on that. But I think when I rearrange my shelves, because I think I'm going to put some of like the bigger fantasy box sets on the top. As maybe also my Sarah J Maas, because she needs to be banished. And she's taking up a lot of space and it makes me mad. But for the time being, Song of Achilles is kind of just loitering up here. So then we've got the next 4, which is the Fortuna Swarm series. I did show the unboxing of these. These are the Fairy Loot edition, I want to say. I think they are. Again, absolutely gorgeous though. I've got them on the sprayed edge. Then we've got the Belladonna series. We've got all 3 of those. I haven't got the latest one. Is it Holly? I don't know. I haven't got the latest one anyway. I haven't read Wisteria yet. I think I put off reading Wisteria because it goes on to other characters and picks up the story that kind of gets launched in Foxglove. I don't know if I'm that interested in it, so it's one of those books I've put off. We've then got the Harrow Fair hardbacks, which are gorgeous. I'm missing one because I'm making my husband read them. So I'm missing the middle one, which is the Clown, because he's in the middle of reading them. Because everybody needs to learn about the murder circus, right? Harrow Fair is one of my favourite series. If you haven't read any Catherine Anne Kingsley, but you love a good villain, Harrow Fair. If you ever watch Carnival, the series, is it HBO series? And I was devastated when it got cancelled. I absolutely loved that. It's kind of similar. It gives that very similar feeling. It's very like atmospheric. I love Catherine Anne Kingsley though anyway, so I'm always going to recommend her. I was like, suddenly aware I didn't finish my sentence. Then we've got the beautiful editions of One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowned. Even though we've got them on the sprayed edges, which means they're back to front. But these editions are beautiful. Rachel Gillig and me have got, you'll see on the next shelf down, we've got The Night and the Moth down there. So again, the authors aren't even put together, but aesthetically, this is where I wanted to put it. I struggle with Rachel Gillig. I like these books for the atmosphere. I don't believe her romantic relationships, and that is also another reason why I struggle with The Night and the Moth. I have pre-ordered the next one, and I might do a video on like Rachel Gillig and the things I like and the things I don't like. But I did enjoy these books. I liked the magic system. It was something different, and I like it if you give me something different, like the cards, the nightmare, you know. Then we've got the Caraval set, the beautiful, gorgeous set. Can't get them out, so you're not going to see them. But they are the absolutely gorgeous, like, deluxe set. And then we've got the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, and then we've also got Alchemy of Secrets. So this is the Stephanie Garber section. I don't think me and Stephanie Garber are friends. I just don't. I'm reading the books, and I just don't think I get the hype. So I need to have some thoughts about that. So yeah, so this is like my fantasy romance. Moving on to this side, let's just swivel you. Hope you don't fall off. Just don't, we're not talking about the hoodie, all right? So then we've got the Light Lark and Sky Shade special editions, which are gorgeous. I need to read Sky Shade. Again, I've been kind of putting it off because I read Light Lark, loved it, but I don't, it's kind of the similar way that I feel about the Stephanie Garbers. I don't know if it's too young for me. So I need to read it. I need to carry on reading it anyway. And then I've also got the Orro and Grimm special edition, which is beautiful. Just have to move the cow. Then we've got the first two in the Grishaverse that I've read. I don't like to put things on the shelf until I've read them. So when I do, there's going to be a calculation in one of these corners about what percentage I've read of each shelf, and you'll see the percentage is pretty high because otherwise they are in the cart and they stay in the cart. But I've got all of the Grishaverse to read. So I've got the third one of these to read, and then I've got the Six of Crows duology, and then I've got the King of Scars duology to read as well. So it's a lot. Then we are moving into Elizabeth Wheatley. If you have not seen Book Goblin on Instagram, you need to go and look at Book Goblin. But Elizabeth Wheatley books. So we've got 5, which are the Danedreth's assassin books. Enjoyable. If you like a slow burn, I think there's a slow burn until book 3. There's 5 books in the main series, which is these ones, which I have read all of. And then there's a 6th one, which is a companion novel, which is Bastards, which concentrates on Thadred. It does carry the story on a little bit because it's in the 5th one in Danedreth's, I want to say Sorceress. It's Empress. Sorceress is the 4th one. In the Danedreth's Empress book, it does allude to the fact that there's still stuff to do, and that's what this book's about. So I'm looking forward to reading this one. I only finished Danedreth's Empress last week. They're not long books. They're like 250, just shy of 300 pages. And for me, I'm not a big TV watcher, so I would rather sit down, put Spotify on and read my book. And my reading speed's pretty fast. Not that, which isn't good or bad. It just is. I'm just always have been quite a fast reader. And I do take stuff in. I know the argument is if you read fast, you don't take it in. If I read slow, that's usually because I'm not concentrating on the book itself. I'm not absorbed in it, and I won't remember it. I'll be like, oh, I've read an entire page and now I have to go back and reread it because I don't know what's just happened. It's subjective. It's however you want to read. You do you. It's all good. But yeah, so I've got one to read on this shelf. I have to straighten them up or else my husband gets very mad. All right, next shelf down. Kind of dark romance. I don't know. It's like I said, we've got the dark romance mafia books over here, but then these are like the dark romance. So we've got Lights Out, Caught Up, and I have got Game On, the third one pre-ordered, so that one's due to come. We've got the first two in the Twisted Game series. I have got the other two to read. Again, they're another series I'm putting off. Got Filthy Rich Fae, the first one. I've got the second one to read. I ordered the second one like as I was coming to the end of this first one because I was really excited about what happened next, and then I got distracted and read a different book. Anybody else do that? Then we have the first book in the Hades Persephone saga, A Touch of Darkness. I have everything else down there. This is like a whole short or another video in itself as to why I've not picked up the rest of the series yet. Oh, you've then got Terror at the Gates. Oh my god, I love this book so much. There's another Scarlet St. Clair, which is why it's down here. I don't quite know where it sits, but oh, I love this book. I love this book. And then I was really mad because it's not finished. It's not a complete story and now I have to wait. But oh, just loved it. I mean, the book itself anyway is absolutely stunning. But like the atmospheric, it felt very like cyberpunk, but with religion. Oh, I just loved it. It felt cyberpunk and Blade Runner-esque, where it's all dark and dingy and neon. Loved it. Loved it for the vibes. Loved it for the story. We've then got The Vicious Lost Boys, which are annotated with stickies. I need to do a video on this because my husband asked me about my husband asked me the other day which books make me angry. And I went on about a 25-minute tirade about these books. And he was like, you did do a video. And I was like, I just don't know if I can. I think I'll just be shouting at people. I think what made me even angrier, and this is what I said to my husband, what made me even angrier is I got these off Amazon and I wanted to annotate them because originally I was planning on doing a video. These cost like £16 a book and they're like 100 and something pages long, and I'm just so mad about it still. I have thoughts. We then have the absolutely gorgeous special edition of Her Soul to Take. Love this book. Do actually quite like the trilogy, but I don't think the rest of them are like this yet, and I want to collect the set. And then we've got Hooked, which is we've talked about Scarred. Scar's actually in my February TBR. Is it the Kind of Fairy Tale? I keep calling it a Kind of Fairy Tale, but that's Cassandra Gannon. But anyway, it's like it's the retelling of classic stories and making them dark romance. And this one's obviously about Hook. I think I did talk about it in a video in one of my reading vlogs because it was a weird romance. I wasn't quite sold on it. I need to move this. I need to put some sort of other books in to stabilise because they're not stabilised. So this is my R.F. Kuang section. So we've got Catabasis, the Waterstones exclusive edition. I did this in my 24 hours of reading this book, and I talked about it probably when I was a bit delusional. I've then got the special editions of The Poppy War and The Dragon Republic. I don't know. So my problem with R.F. Kuang is I feel like there's so much theory, and that's not a bad thing, but I do feel like there's so much like exposition and explanation thrown down your neck when reading her books, and it becomes a little bit dry. I was really enjoying The Poppy War, but I just got to a point where I needed to stop, and it was a soft DNF on one of my reading vlogs. But I do want to pick this back up because I was enjoying the premise. I just got a bit fatigued by it and I needed to switch out. So I think I switched it out for something trashy because that tells you where my head was. Then, as I said, we've got The Night and the Moth next. followed by The Ever King and The Ever Queen, which I've read recently. And in my February TBR, we have got The Mist Thief to read. I haven't read that yet. Then we've got my Daniel L. Jensen. We've got A Fate Inked in Blood, and we've got A Curse Carved in Bone. It's the Saga of the Unfated. Yes, it annoys me too that I've got one, which is the Waterstones exclusive, which is absolutely stunning, but it's paperback. And then, as usual, they come out in hardback and they don't match. It also makes me mad. Folk of the Air, the Holly Black Folk of the Air series. I have read all of these. I enjoyed them, which is surprising because I've just talked about how I think some books are too young for me. I read them the first time. I've read them twice. I read them the first time and I couldn't remember them. And everybody always raves about them. And then I picked them up and read them for a second time and I enjoyed them a lot more. But I also hadn't read the final book. I hadn't read Oak's books. So I've read them now. Then we have my I'm Just Here for the Monsters mug, which contains all of my bookmarks. It also tries to help the paperbacks deal with life. Then we've got V.E. Schwab, this Savage Song, which is the Monsters of Verity. It's the Monsters of Verity series. I've got the second one here as well, but it's the one that's got all the sprayed edges. Then we're entering into Monster Smut, which is why V.E. Schwab's here rather than anywhere else. We've categorised into Monster Smut now. So then we've got, again, I've got some of these was because I was planning to do videos on them and then I just didn't do the videos. But we've got Lillian Lark, who is a very famous Monster Smut. The Stalked by the Kraken, just pure smut. Lady of Rooksgrave Manor, I mean, this is a classic, right? Everybody knows about this book. Again, wall-to-wall smut. Reverse harem. And we've got Maruby Dixon's. So we've got the Sea Ogre's Eager Bride. We've got the Half Orcs Maiden Bride. It's all about this. The Bride series, isn't it, those? And then we've got Full Moon Rising. And we've got By the Horns, which are these gorgeous editions. They used to be a bit more on display, but space was tight. And let's face it, you cannot have a Monster Smut section without having Morning Glory Milking Farm. It's a classic. It's going to be up there with Shakespeare, I'm telling you. Right. That's the Monster Smut shelves. Coming over to here, it's like an overflow for some more fantasy romance. This was actually like an empty shelf and I've gradually filled it up. So we've got Rosie in Chains, which I talked about, I surprisingly loved. I wasn't expecting it. We've got The Crimson Moth. I haven't read Rebel Witch yet. I've heard good and bad things. It's another one that I'm putting off because I don't want to deal with reality. We've got The Wolf King, which is the Waterstones edition. The Night Prince is downstairs in a package from Waterstones, which I'm going to be doing as part of my unboxings. We've got Neverthorn, which you can't see it. You can't see it. I'm blocking it. We've got Neverthorn. Again, with the Waterstones edition. Absolutely beautiful edition. And surprisingly, I enjoyed this book. Another one that I didn't think I was going to enjoy. And then we've got All the Devils and All the Wicked duology, which again, I really enjoyed. So we were a little bit more towards this side. We're a little bit sort of fantasy academia, dark academia. We're getting a bit more there. Now we're getting into the Shelves of Shame, so I'll lower you down a bit. These two, there's one and directly, so this one, my head is in my, this one and the one directly underneath it are manga shelves. So I've got some Black Clover, got some JJK, some Black Clover and some My Hero Academia. But then I've also got the 25th edition of Akira down the bottom, which you can't see. It's just cut off by the camera. But this bottom shelf anyway is normally storage, so there's no point in going into it really. The next shelf, this shelf here, this one you can't see, that's my Sarah J Maas shelf, and that's one of shame. I don't know. I'm just not that fussed for her. And then this last, you can't see it. And then this last shelf down here is like book talk books. So we've got all of the Elsie Silvers. I did actually quite enjoy them. I kind of wanted to do I got them to do a video on it because this is my first foray into like cowboy romance. So that's still there for me to do if I want to. But I've read all of these. And then we have got like some book talk thrillers. I'll insert a video. I'll insert a picture of them. Some of them have DNF because I just wasn't fussed for them. But that's my book talk books. Let me know if any of the books that I've said I'm nervous to read, if you think any of them are the ones that I should pick up next. But I will see you all next week, hopefully for an unhauling. But I'll see you all next week. Thank you for watching.